I've been a trucker since my mid-20s, and I've had my fair share of odd and strange things happen to me on the road. But the encounter I'm about to share today is by far one of the scariest things that's ever happened to me. The year was 1999. The night started out like any other night. I turned on my favorite tunes so I would stay awake and alert and headed out on my route. The road ahead of me was dark and lonely. Suddenly, on the side of the road, I saw a figure in white appear. At first, I didn't think much of it because as soon as I saw it, it was gone from my sight. There is no way a pedestrian would be roaming this lonely road. I continued to drive for what seemed like an hour. Then again, the white figure appeared at the end of the road. This time it was clear as day. A woman in all white walking on the side of the road. It seemed like she was barefoot. As I neared, she turned and in typical hitchhiker manner stuck out the old arm and thumb. I immediately noticed she was in distress. Tears streamed down her face and her makeup was smudged. As soon as my truck came to a stop, the woman reached over and was able to open the door with ease. This was strange because she looked pale and sick. I noticed that her hands were small and skinny. I timidly asked what was wrong. What had happened to her? She said nothing. She stared at me in silence, then mumbled something I couldn't quite make out. I looked over at the lonely road and shivered. I knew she must have gone through a great deal, but her blank stare into the road freaked me out. I felt shivers run down my spine. "Where are you going?" I asked. "Where can I take you?" But again, no answer. She looked directly at me with a blank expression. She then lifted her right arm and pointed straight into the open road ahead as her head twitched. I froze in fear. A million thoughts ran through my head at that moment, but I knew for certain that I had made a grave mistake. "Ma'am, I think it's best," I uttered. But before I could finish, a piercing scream came out of the woman. I immediately pulled away from her and covered my ears. This could not be happening right now. The sound I heard was like no other. No, this was a raspy, deep, and blaring scream. Something I had never heard before. This was it. I was going to meet my maker. "No, no, no," I cried out repeatedly as I shook my head. Then suddenly the scream began to fade away. Then nothing. I sat frozen in fear. I was almost afraid to open my eyes because I feared what awaited me once I did open my eyes. Nothing less, I compelled myself to do it. I slowly turned my head over and opened my eyes. To my surprise, the hitchhiker was gone. I couldn't believe it. A wave of relief rushed over me. I was glad that the strange passenger had disappeared and left me unharmed. Then, a rush of panic came over me again. What had just happened? Did I imagine the whole ordeal? Was it a ghost? The rest of the night is a blur. I just know I got out of there as fast as I could and I never looked back. To this day, I can't quite explain what exactly visited me that day. To be quite frank, I don't need to make sense of it. I simply learned never to stop for a hitchhiker ever again.